Many people talk about smear campaigns, how someone spreads lies to destroy your name, ruin your credibility, and turn people against you. But almost nobody talks about the bigger picture, because what you're experiencing, it's not just gossip, it's reputational abuse, and it's one of the most overlooked forms of psychological and emotional control. Reputational abuse is when someone tries to destroy your credibility, isolate you from support, and poison how others see you, often while appearing calm, innocent, or even concerned. And once it spreads, especially when it's online, it can feel unrecoverable. Hi, I'm Callie Sorensen. I have a master's degree in the psychology of coercive control, and I help people recognize unhealthy dynamics so they can rebuild safe, empowered, and connected relationships. Every Tuesday, I expose a toxic tactic to help you spot manipulation. Today, we're unpacking reputational abuse, what it is, how it shows up, and why it hits so deep for survivors of toxic or narcissistic relationships. So, what exactly is reputational abuse? Reputational abuse is when someone intentionally damages your name, your character, or your credibility as a way to control, discredit, or punish you. It's often part of a larger pattern of coercive control, and it becomes especially vicious after you try to leave a relationship, speak up, or set boundaries. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's whispered. Sometimes it's half-truths, implications, or quote-unquote concerns that they have about you. But the goal is always the same, to control how other people see you, so that you lose power, support, safety, and your mind. A smear campaign is one of the most common tactics inside of reputational abuse. It's a way of damaging your name and reputation on purpose, to control the story before you can tell it. If you've ever felt like somebody rewrote your story before you even had a chance to speak, that wasn't drama. That was a smear campaign. So let's talk about how reputational abuse actually shows up, because it's not just about public shaming or viral callouts. It can be loud and obvious or subtle and strategic. Some overt tactics include lying about you to your friends, your family, coworkers, or spiritual leaders, people in your community, accusing you of things that you didn't do, cheating, abuse, or being unstable, posting about you online, sometimes vague, but sometimes obvious, but always damaging. Emailing your boss, your clients, your therapist to warn them or act as if they're concerned, but it's calculated. Threatening to expose your private information or history. Labeling you as manipulative, a narcissist, or dangerous. Twisting the story and positioning themselves as the victim so that you look like the abuser. And if this sounds familiar, make sure you check out my other video on DARVO for more information on this. Some of the more subtle or covert tactics may include saying things to others like, "I'm just telling you this because I care about them. I'm really worried about them," in a tone that can seed doubt. It may sound like they care about you, but it's designed to undermine you. Another example is telling people they're not doing well. "I'm worried they're really unstable lately. Sadly, they've been spiraling since the breakup," with just enough implication to raise concern without sounding malicious. Quietly building alliances with others, so by the time you speak up, the room's already turned against you. Positioning themselves as the calm one, the one who tried, while making you look irrational or unstable. They control the narrative before you even get a chance to open your mouth. And by the time you speak up, the room's already been primed to doubt you. So why do they do it? Reputational abuse is a control tactic. It's not just a slip of the tongue, it's a strategy. And here's what's usually underneath it. Sometimes it's about punishing you for leaving. When a controller loses access to you, they don't just want closure, they want punishment. And reputation is one of the fastest ways to hit back that is devastating. Also, to discredit you before speaking up. They rewrite the story before you can tell the truth. This is preemptive damage control. If they smear you first, no one will believe your side. Also, to isolate you from support. If they can convince others that you're unstable, toxic, dramatic, or abusive, you're left alone, and isolated people are easier to control. To protect their image. Many abusers are highly invested in looking good, especially to outsiders. Their public image matters more than your actual experience. Smearing you protects the illusion that they are the good one. In the end, it's not just about destroying your name and reputation, it's about keeping theirs clean. Why does reputation abuse and smear campaigns hurt so much? Because your reputation is survival. Biologically, we are wired for belonging. Being believed, trusted, and accepted isn't just emotional, it's existential. When your reputation is destroyed, you don't just lose credibility. You risk losing your entire safety net. You might lose your job, your relationships, your community, your financial stability, your mental health, your sense of reality. Instead of healing from what was done to you, you sometimes feel forced to defend your character to people who don't even know the real story. And online, a single post, a vague caption, a voice note, a screenshot that's shared, taken out of context, it can ripple through your entire life. And the worst part, they don't need proof. They just need an audience willing to believe whatever sounds convincing enough. So why do you feel so powerless? Because you can't fight a whisper campaign. You can't refute every single lie that was told about you. You can't unpoison every relationship. You can't prove your innocence to people who never even asked for your side. And that's what makes reputational abuse so brutal. You're not just defending your story. You're trying to defend your character in a world that's already been told who you are. And the truth is, most people won't take the time to hear both sides equally. They won't ask for context. They won't look for receipts. They've got their own lives, their own distractions. And all humans have biases. We're wired to choose sides fast, especially when the story is told with emotion, urgency, or confidence, even if it's not true. That's what makes reputational abuse one of the most helpless, disorienting, and rage-inducing forms of harm, because it's invisible, it's quiet, and by the time you realize what's happening, your name has already left the room without you. So what can you do about it? Here's what I want you to know. If this is happening to you, you're not crazy, you're not dramatic, and you're not imagining it. You're in the aftermath of image-based warfare. And the hardest thing to accept is you can't undo a smear campaign with logic. Why? Because it was never about the full truth and context. It was about control. Many controllers want you to spiral. They want you to panic. They want you to chase every rumor and lose your mind trying to explain yourself to people who already made up theirs. Because the more unstable you look, the more right they seem. So here's what recovery can look like. Some people are stuck in their biases, and no amount of explaining will change that. Trying to correct the record with everyone will only cost you time, energy, sleep, and peace. So instead of chasing people who've already made up their minds, focus on the people who already know your heart. And let your actions speak over time. Rebuild your life around truth, not damage control. Here are some steps that can help, emotionally and practically. Document what's been happening for your own safety, for future legal needs, and for your own reality. Surround yourself with safe people who reflect back to you the truth of who you are. Let your values be visible. Quiet consistency will say more than any defense ever could. Shift your energy inwards. Healing, nervous system work, community, creativity, truth. Rebuild your life, not for revenge, but for restoration. And in some cases, you might want to consider taking legal action, HR reports, whistleblowing, or restraining orders. They might be appropriate just depending on the context. But make sure you're being strategic and not reactive. And get professional support, because your truth matters. But your peace is what matters more. You don't need to chase your reputation. You need to reclaim your identity. Not for them, but for you. And that's what I help people do. I work one-on-one with people navigating reputation damage, smear campaigns, and relational trauma. Whether you're still in it, getting out, or just trying to rebuild your clarity after being silenced, I would love to support you. The link to book a free consultation is in the description. And if you're not ready for that yet, that's okay. Just keep learning, keep watching these videos, because awareness creates options, and options is how you can get your freedom back. Every Tuesday, I expose a toxic tactic, and every Friday, I teach different frameworks that help you heal and understand things on a deeper level. If you have any questions or experiences to share, please leave a comment, and hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.